Hello, this video is an update on the new interface to the qtVlm image overlay display. I think I have a recent video when we added the automated pre-configured images. I'm going to get to that a little bit today as well, but I mainly want to discuss the new interface, and then maybe get as far as ASCAT, and if needed, we'll come back with more on ASCAT. But okay, so the first thing is, and I don't know, and I'm using a beta, but I don't think there's anything in the beta I'm using that's not in the latest build. And so the new menu bar up here, we're looking for something that's under data called weather images, and this is something that's new. Now I'm on a Mac, so this is called Option W. That would be, I think, on a PC, that would be Alt W. So that's new. So I can open the command we want with Option W. Right, that does that. Or you go up here, Data, Weather Images, open a weather image, and you're there. Now, let me just delete this for now. I don't know. That's one of the ones we're going to talk about, in fact, and I don't know how much, but I want to show how you do that. So that's one thing. So I think it may show up like this, or it may have something like, I just clicked this here. It may have something like that. But so this is the interface, and really you can't, it shows here these are for downloading the new ones, but I don't think you can do anything. Right, you can't do anything till you have a slot to work in. And I'm going to, and these are the new things, we're going to look at that, but I want to stress that we still have the old basic technique of loading any image we want of our own. Not just the custom ones we made, but you can make your own custom ones and then save it. And so the step to that, well, we first of all add an ad. See, you can add as many of these as you want. And then we're going to build something in here. And I think you delete them just as easily. Okay, so we're going to add one here. And then you say edit. So there's where now we're going to put all the information for what we want to show. And then let's do, for example, let's go here to NOAA. And of all the pre-configured ones, which I'll get to in a moment, we don't have these waves here. But and it's something you might want, although you get the same data from the GFS model, but just not as pretty a graphic. So there may be use for studying this, wanting this graphic, but this is demoing any graphic you want. And so, and this is a live. Let's say I'm going to take this wave graphic here. These are the period of a wave, and here's the period going up. And you see, as the swells move across the ocean, they get lower, and their period gets longer, like that. So over here you have basically waves, 6 or 7 seconds, and by the time you're over here you have swells 15, 16 seconds. And so let's say this is the image we want to georeference, like that. So here is that link. Now if I enter this link, well, let me copy that link, Command C. Okay, so let me just move that out of the way. So if I want to do that, I would just, for the name, I can put anything I want for the name. But here, let me say, I'm going to put the Command V. I put that in there. That's a link, an HTTP, a web link to that. So that means that in this case, whenever I load this image, it's going to go online and get the latest version. Now, I have to check to see how often those are updated, but at least every 6 hours, I would guess. But you don't have to do that. You could georeference and show on your screen, georeferenced, any image you want, a static image, in which case you would just browse and go to your hard drive and find the image you want to load there and load it. But every time you open it up, it would be exactly that same image. It's not new data every time. So from a navigation point of view, these live dynamic ones with a real link are a value, are in a sense the more valuable ones. So let's call this, what is it called? This is 24-hour waves of the North Atlantic. And let me just say North ATL 24H waves demo. I'm going to put demo because I've been playing with this. I don't, and so lock means that we're not ready to lock it because we haven't georeferenced it. So now what you have to do, and this crop, I'm going to come back to that. That's an important, very nice feature, but I'm going to come back to that. For now, let's just do a crude georeference of this map. So if I come up here and look, see, what's it want to know? It wants to know the north, the left corner, left corner, well, I assume it could be top or bottom. I'm going to use the left top corner here. Oh, wait, yeah, left corner, north. Okay, it wants to know the latitude and longitude of this point up here. So if we look at this, this is 60, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's got a longitude here of 64. That's that one. And then what's the longitude? The longitude is west. And what is it? It's 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 97. So it's west 97, 97. And then if we could put in degrees and minutes and so forth or decimals, but anyway, that's done it. That's done. Now it wants to know the range. What's the latitude range across the chart? Now here's where it gets a little bit, you see, I put up here 64. If I'm putting this whole image in here, I really should put in, look, this is 63, 64. You mean I in a sense should put in, you know, if I go back here, this is really like 64.5 or something, right? Because it's a little bit higher if I'm georeferencing this entire image. But it's not going to likewise over on this when we do the range. Right now, let me do just a crude range and say this is 10 west, 10 east. So this is 97 plus 10 is 107. But look, there's another 8 or 9 degrees here that I haven't dealt with, plus like that. So, but let's look latitude range. This is 20, 19, 18, 17. I'm going to forget this 17, 16, 15. You know, it's down here maybe 15, something like that. But for now, let me just say 17, 16. I'll just say it's 15. It doesn't, I'm going to show in a matter, it doesn't matter. Oh no, but it does matter, and we have to do the math here. That's 15 up to, what's it going to 64? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'd be 64 minus 15 equals 49. So we would put in here 49.0 something. And across here, this is 100 and 97, 107, you know, maybe I just call that 112. It doesn't matter for now. I'm going to fix that in a minute. Let's go 112. Let's just say that. Okay, so that's everything here in this rough version. And then you go in, and we're not locked, so then we go in and save. So now I have to turn, and that's what that is. And if I want to, I could save what I've got there, export it. But we don't have it very tuned up yet. Now, if I want to look at it, I have to be sure the blue dot's in there. So I click out here, get the blue dot in it, say OK. Now, this is not going to be very precisely georeferenced because we just were guessing these numbers. And then you can change the transparency here to see how well you're doing. And you see, if you look down here in Florida, we're not very good there. But it's not locked, so I can pull this around so that that's locked like that. You see, and then over here, let's get Africa a little bit better. And maybe over here, get this a little bit better. so forth. Now that's all pretty good. Oh, we're tweaked off a little bit here maybe. Well, anyway, something like that. Now you can go back. I'm going to use my keys, Option W, and edit. Oh, I got to mark it when I'm working on edit. And now I want to lock that on the screen. And I save. Okay, so that's pretty good. And it tweaked these numbers around a little bit like that. And so if I want to now, I can say export. And that's going to put it, this is one called demo, it's going to put it in the qtVlm folder called received images, and that's the one, marked demo, right there. I'll say OK. So that's that. And so that's the way that works. And then you can come back later when you want to see this again. Let's say that's not there, delete, and now you want to see that again. You would just say import. Oh, no. It doesn't know where to import it. So we got to add somebody, right? Add a place to put it. And then you say import. And then here's the demo. Here's open. And there it is. It's got a blue check. I can say OK. And presumably now it's all pretty good georeferenced. If I want to, now I can turn that down and start looking at it. And you can always check yourself. You see, this is 50 north. And if I read see if down here in the corner, down in this corner, you read the latitude. So you see I'm right at, right at 50 north right there. And that's a longitude. What is that longitude? 10 west. And you see I go on here, and what am I reading? 10, basically it's 10 west. Okay, so and that's the way you georeference that, and then you can study the waves that way. Now, now I just want to show the rest of the features. Not that you necessarily want to do that. You could live with just what we have here. And here's the scale. Now, suppose we don't want all this other stuff on here. We want just the data, just this data here. Now, if we limited it to just that data, then our initial cropping guess is real simple. That's 17 to 64, and that's 10 east to 97 west. So we could crop it, but then when we crop it, it would show just that. So I just want to show you the cropping feature, and then move on to the next thing. Now let's see where I set that up. Okay, so first of all, let me go back to the display and say here, that's the one we're looking at, and say edit. And here is, you know what? Okay, here, let me just show you some negotiations here. I don't want to destroy the one I've already made. So what I'm going to do is say add, and I'm going to come here, and I'm going to load that same one again, import, that's this guy. So now I know I've got one that's there, and then this one I'm going to now edit, and I'm going to call this one cropped, C-R-O-P-P, cropped. Okay, save. Okay, and then here I'm going to just export it. Okay, cropped. Okay, so I have that guy backed up. This one I don't need anymore. Delete, not delete. Well, I can delete it from here. When I delete it from here, I'm not deleting it from the folder in qtVlm folder that's stored. I'm just taking it off this page. Delete. Okay, that's good. Now, let's look at the cropped feature edit. That's this, well, not all these numbers, it's these numbers right here. So I made a slide that I hope helps explain this. Where's my slide? Here, okay. And so here is that image. Now we want to, and you could do this almost by hunt and peck, by just trial and error, but it's a little bit, it doesn't take too long to do it right. This image is way more complicated than it really looks. What you would do, like, I'm on a Mac now, but in a Mac you can do this just like I can do, let's say Shift Command 4. You see, I can read pixels just like this on a Mac. I did Shift Command 4, and I'm reading pixels. And that's all we need for an image. On a PC, what we're going to do is we got to look about how many pixels do we want to cut off of here. So on a PC, do I have a PC here? Here's a PC. Here's that image. Right click, open with, print. No, not print. Paint. Open with Paint. That's their like most basic program in the world. And then I think that you got to be careful. It opens up with brushes. So if you try to read something down here, you're just drawing stuff. So you don't want that. Control Z to get rid of that. And turn this off and just turn on select. See? So once you have select on here, you can read down here what the pixels are. You can read it. You can read them right here. That's 65 by 43, right? So that's what I need to know. I need to know how many. I want to cut off 65 pixels off of this edge and 43 pixels off of this edge, and so forth. And then I need to know the full width of the dimensions of this picture, and it's 1200 by 764. So on the right side, I'm going to go, I'm going to change that 1200 to 1200 minus 60 and so forth. Okay, so that's the way that works. And then I'm going to just blow this up a bit and show it this way in case you need to maybe slow the video down at some point and look at it. But you see, here's the dimensions, 1200 by 764. And then here's the D latitude. Once I trim it, the D latitude just goes from 17 to 64, which is now 47. And the D longitude is 97 to 10.3. See, let me highlight this. You see, there's where the real image is. You don't see it because it's white on white. But that's the image we're working with. Okay, and so the dimension, this over here is 10 east to 97 west, so the D longitude is 107. And then the part that we're going to cut off down here, we read, well, the part we're cutting off from the top corner, you read up here in this teeny little thing, it's 3 by 12. And the down here in the bottom part, I'm cutting off 60 by 41. So then here's how you enter that. That's 1200 minus what I'm cutting off on this side, and the top and bottom, 764 minus 41, then I get 723 and so forth. So this is what you put in to this. Oh, I didn't, let's see, I don't think I have one done. Okay, well, let me just put it in here right now. I'm going to crop it. And so this is going to be 3. And this is going to be, what was it, 12. And this is going to be, 1140. 1140. This is going to be 723. 723. Oh, and now these are a lot easier. This is just 64, period. And then this, oh wait, that's 0. Latitude north is 64, and the west is 97. 97, get rid of that. 64 and 97. Now, and then the latitude range we said was 47, and what was this one? 107, I think. Yeah, 107. Okay, 107. So now I have this image done and cropped. Let's save it, see if I didn't make any mistakes. Turn it on and then look at it. And there it's in there, and you can change this. By the way, if you see, and it's a hair off, I could go in and tweak that and fix it. I won't take your time to do that. But you can, these have a default transparency somewhere here. If you crank it over to, where it's like this, and then you save it, or export it rather, and then when you bring it back in, it will remember this. So this is done. Now, one last comment on this special technique when everything's trimmed up. We've lost the scale. So let me just show you a quick trick that you can do here. what's this? You could go, what program am I in here? I'm in a Mac. So I could just do this. I could just grab this scale here like this, right? And then I make that a new image by itself. So I've got that image of the scale like that, and save it. It's called the scale. And then delete, okay. And then you go in, I've done this here. Then you just make a waypoint, like edit. I made a waypoint called wave period scale, and I've attached that image to it. That's my wave scale picture. I've just attached that image to it, and it stays permanent like that. So then whenever you want the scale, you just put your cursor on here. You know, if you want it over here, and then you just put your cursor on there, and it'll bring the scale. That's a trick. If it's useful, use it. That's fine. Okay, so that is that on the basic technique. Okay, I'm doing on the basic, going back to remind us that the main image overlay techniques of the program remain the same. They're just improved recently with the cropping function and so forth. Okay, Option W to be out of here. And let me shut this off. Oh, I'm going to save it, export it. Export it, and then say, okay, save. Oh, I had it saved. Okay, and now this I don't need. Delete. Okay, so now let's look. Let me find, let's see here what I've got. I've got so many screens open. Okay, let's now look at some of the prepackaged ones. And again, there's an earlier video on this. So this is just a quick review. And then I don't think it's, I'm already 20 minutes. I don't want to go longer. I'll come back with a separate, once I show you these basics, then I'll come back with a separate video and show the real powerhouse of using the ASCAT data. But the, this is, we have to always start with something. I just added something, you know, like that. And we're going to add something to here. And where you get it is you can pull it off of this scale down here. And if I say synopsis, and then I say download, and then I can look at the various types of maps I want. North Pacific West Service Analysis. Okay, let's say that. That's got a check mark, and I say okay. And then that brings that map in already georeferenced. And then at this point, you can then go in and overlay a grid file on that, adjust the grid file to be the time of the map, and start comparing the map, which is made by human beings, whereas the model data is a pure computer output. So you get to balance out the two and see how they agree. So that has a very nice nice feature that way. Now, and here, if you want to see, here is a page that we made, starpath.com/overlays. This shows all of the prepackaged images for qtVlm at the moment that we have. And then you can make your own, as I've just shown. But you have things like the Gulf Stream. You can look at the Gulf Stream. These are updated every 3 or 4 days. You've got satellite images. These things you can overlay, and they'll be beautiful. They'll be right on top of your screen. And you've got then these ASCAT data. These are live satellite. Well, this is live. This is 2038 on the January 9th. 2038 on the 9th. Well, I have to, let me, I don't think I can think and chew gum here, or talk and chew gum. So I'm going to wait and figure that out later. But this is all discussed in our ASCAT services. So these are the data that you can see. Now, and with this page, you either look at it here and just see what images are available to you if you want them. Here, if you click at this, you just see this is the meat of the game. This little simple file here does everything, including, for example, the transparency is 44. You can set this from 0 to 100 and then play with that. And so you can actually literally, these are text files, you can change them. So that shows you if you want to make one of your own, all you have to do is this. You put in the link to where you want the picture to be. You put the lat range, the left corner, right corner, the longitude range, give it a title, and give it a transparency. And that will, then you load that into qtVlm and you're off. You got your own image already, your custom image already made. So it's a very, very versatile and powerful tool that's now set up here. So let me get back into the program. And I'll take just a quick look at the ASCAT, and then I'll stop here and then come back with a separate video on the ASCAT. Let's see, Option W. Okay, what I want to show here is how the ASCAT's set up. The ASCAT, let's say North America, and then download, and then you got ASCAT image for North America. Here's the ASCAT image, North America, okay. Oh, wait a minute, there's two things showing here. Oh, we have to be a little bit careful here because this will also show two things at once. So I just want to see the ASCAT for North America, okay, on. And so there is that. And so that shows you what times you're going to have satellite passes to get you data. So this San Francisco area, this is UTC 535 and 1825, plus or minus half an hour or so. There will be valid, useful satellite wind data, measured actual wind data in this area. But what we have to do is at each of these times, and the other thing too, and I'll repeat this when I come back, but this is the actual satellite times. It takes 2 hours to process the data. Very complicated analysis, frankly. And so we would actually see this 535 pass at something like 735 Zulu, 735 GMT, or 2000 this time here. But anyway, and so we can see all those data live, and we just click a button in qtVlm to see them. But that's been a long time. I'm going to stop here on this one and come back later and add more on the ASCAT.